good morning, and welcome to another Monday Messages. I'm Rebecca, I'm a homeopath, I'm a QTC coach practitioner and all-round natural health advocate. So, I'm going to talk about excrement today. Not just excrement, actually, but anything that comes out of our bodies or our minds, actually, come to that. And I'm, for those of you who know me well, you'll know I'm always preaching that better out than in. And one of the things that when I'm taking a case for the first time, but also actually regularly, that I always go through with a fine-tooth comb is how somebody is eliminating their rubbish. And that means not being satisfied with stock answers when asked, how often do you move your bowels, or how are your bowels? How are your bowels isn't going to tell you anything, because quite often people don't want to talk about poo or wee or all of those things. And also we're kind of used to the way that it's always been for us. So quite often, somebody might say, oh, normal, oh, fine, absolutely fine. And it's not until I ask deeper questions that I find out that their measurement of fine is actually not fine at all. I've had people that only move their bowels once a week. I've had people who are moving their bowels, every half an hour. I've had people who are perhaps moving their bowels every day, but it's really difficult, really hard, or very painful, or it's, there's blood being passed, all of those kind of things, all lots of wind and bloating. None of which is normal. Now, it might seem like it's normal for them, but it's not. It's not the norm. It's not how things should be. So I wanted to talk about this morning because I had a really lovely case last week where a lady came back to me. It was only her third follow-up. And really about 75% of the things that she came to me with as being an issue had actually gone. They disappeared. And she was incredulous, especially as we talked about the fact that all we were doing at this stage, using homeopathic remedies and just cleaning up the diet a bit, was to support her routes of elimination. She was very constipated, number one. And by constipation, I mean that her bowels were not moving efficiently or regularly enough, or comfortably. And that the rubbish that was in her system was unable to be eliminated effectively, and it was just being run around the system. And that was actually giving her quite severe migraine-type headaches. It was putting a huge strain on her urinary system, and she was peeing a lot, but very, very high-smelling urine, very dark urine, and she was prone to getting infections regularly. And her skin was really troubling her as well. She had lots and lots of breakouts and rashes and itching, eczema type stuff. So that was just part of what was going on, and there was quite a few emotional things as well. She was extremely irritable and impatient, intolerant, and had sort of random joint pains as well, and sinusitis, to name but a few. So all of those things in this third follow-up have disappeared, and she feels 10 times better. She's got better energy, Her bowels are moving daily comfortably and fully. The strain that was on the kidneys is no longer there, so her urine is much healthier. She's not getting the headaches. The sinus pain that she had regularly, she hasn't experienced it now for nearly 2 months. All sorts of things, all better. Oh, and also actually her menstrual cycle is a lot healthier. She was having terrible cramps, really bad cramping and very unhealthy blood, very dark, clotted blood, and a lot of pain with it. That's much healthier than it was. There's a little bit of work still to be done there, but it's much healthier. The blood colour is healthier, the flow is better, and she's not having those same cramps. They've reduced significantly. So just by supporting her liver, her kidneys, and her bowels, that's all we've done. But the same with any homeopathic remedy, there are multiple uses to most remedies. But that's in essence all I was targeting by these last 2-3 prescriptions. And she is 75% better. That's because she can now effectively eliminate the rubbish that was backed up in her system and causing her all those problems. Now, of course, it's no good doing that and still continuing the behaviours that have got you there in the first place. So always we'll be looking at diet and things like supplements even. I have a number of people who come to me who say, when I ask about the bowels, is there any problem there? No, there's no problem at all as long as I drink my coffee. Or, no, it's fine since I've been taking, I don't know, magnesium. Things move. So the real test is when we can move our bowels and things are being eliminated effectively without any aid, without any ongoing support to do that. So, needing a coffee in order to move your bowels means your bowels aren't moving healthily. Constipation, by the way, seems to be a lot of misunderstanding about what constipation actually is. You can have very loose stools but still be constipated. So what I mean by constipation is that it's your bowels are not emptying effectively. And that can mean that in an attempt to rectify that, your system is loosening the actual stools, but they're still not, if you still have a sensation that you haven't quite finished, and you're needing to, you have a bloating feeling, or you're building up wind, or it's uncomfortable, that can mean that your bowels are sluggish, even though the stools themselves may be loose. So that's what I wanted to remind everybody of, is the importance of actually being aware of what healthy rubbish elimination is actually like. And maybe you've never experienced that, but you can, with the help of homeopathic remedies and by having a really good look at your eating habits and your drinking habits and also your emotional habits. Because, if we're hanging on to emotions that aren't able to resolve, such as grief, let's say, then there is a tendency for us to hold on to other things as well, and that might include our bowel movements. Nature Mura is a fantastic homeopathic remedy that, amongst other things, can address things like the effects of holding on to grief and not expressing it fully. And part of that is that there's a general lack of flow, that things just don't move, they're being held onto. And that can mean not only emotionally, but it plays out physically as well. So often nature mures people needing nature mure will need it to help the bowels move. They will need it to get some kind of moisture and flow into their skin, their hair. They might need it to get a menstrual cycle going. So it plays out physically as well as emotionally. And of course, the other way around, that if you're hanging on to your rubbish, it can make you really bad-tempered because you've got just a load of rubbish in your system, and it doesn't make us feel very good. It makes us feel kind of like we've got a hangover because the liver is really straining. I could talk about this for hours, so I'm not going to, because obviously I haven't got hours. But it's something that we look at as homeopaths in quite a lot of detail. It's something that, as a homeopathic practitioner, I'm not in the slightest bit embarrassed about, and that I will be quite persistent with people in terms of understanding what's going on. And there's no judgment at all. It's just that if we give quite a deep acting remedy, which invariably will ask our systems to start eliminating what is no longer needed, and those routes of elimination, the bowels, the urinary tract, the skin, the menstrual cycle, our ability to make mucus, our ability to sweat, all of those things, if they're all compromised, then the rubbish will be activated to be moving, and the system will be going, fantastic, I can get rid of all this shit. And the exit routes are blocked, though. So it will run it around your system looking for ways to get out, and they'll all be blocked. And you will just end up feeling dreadful. And that's why a lot of people, when they do detoxes of any description, end up feeling terrible, and they don't sustain them. So if you take nothing else from this call today, if you're thinking of doing a detox, because summer is a good time to do it, actually, because we tend to be eating lighter and we're outside more and we're getting more sunshine, all of those things. If you're thinking of doing a clean-up for yourself, really pay attention to those routes of elimination first, because if you aren't moving your bowels efficiently, you're somebody that doesn't really sweat, and there's something not quite right about your menstrual cycle, for example, then you may want to look at getting those things going first. Otherwise, your rubbish will be activated but not able to be eliminated. So just wanted to encourage you looking at that. So getting a little bit more interested in your shit. And also, if you do want to have some support and prepare your body for doing a really effective cleanup, then you might want to do a few rounds of homeopathy. If you do, then just pop onto the site. There's a link with this video and you can book a consultation there. Or if you're not sure and you want to ask some questions, then do book a free clarity call with me, and you can also use the same link to do that. So I hope that has inspired you to maybe talk more about your crap, if you like, and also know that you can talk about all of those kind of things with me or with your homeopathic practitioner, and we will not be in the least bit embarrassed by it. It's all great information, and it helps to inform our prescriptions. So that's it. Have a lovely week and enjoy the sunshine. Take care.